What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are looking at 5 Detroit Lions that could shock the NFL in 2020. So let's get it started. So in today's video, we're basically looking at 5 Lions that could shock the NFL, have breakout seasons, whatever it may be, just surprise everybody. So this doesn't have to be just limited to players. However, most of this list is players, so I will point that out. Now, I was supposed to do my giveaway for the shirt winner from Father's Day. If you guys watched my Father's Day video, you would know there was a giveaway. I wrote everybody's name down that messaged me, so I had them all right here. I was supposed to do that yesterday, but I forgot to announce that to you guys, and I just did the wheel. I just spun the wheel, and we got our winner. So I wrote them down in the order that I saw the messages, and then I spun the wheel with all the numbers, and it randomly generated the number 1. I'm not gonna lie, it randomly generated the number 1. So let's just hop right into it, man. Let's spin the wheel. Let's roll the dice. I don't know what you would call this. This is random number. So let's roll it. Boom. We got 1. We got the number. We got the number 1, y'all. I'm not even making this up. Look, can y'all see it? We got the number 1. So we got the number 1. I was not expecting to get the number 1. Okay, it's not broken. Okay, so we got number 1. So the first person that I wrote down was Blau. I'm just gonna leave right there. I'm just gonna put his name right here. You know who you are. I ain't gonna say it because hey, this is a family friendly environment, but hey, you know who you are. He won it, man. He won the shirt. So if you guys want to be able to get in the next giveaway or whenever we do a giveaway, make sure you guys stay locked on every video because you never know when I'm going to do a giveaway. I'm not going to be putting them in the titles. I'm not going to be hyping them up. They're just going to come here and there. And then if you're locked in, you're paying attention to the videos and you see it, you come across it, then you can get involved, okay? Because that's how I think it should be. Kind of randomly in here. And the last one was for Father's Day. So let's get into this list now. Let's look at the top 5 Lions that could shock the NFL in 2020. So let's start off at the number 5 position. We do have some honorable mentions as well, but starting off at number 5, we have safety Tracy Walker. I put Tracy Walker at number 5. I predicted him to be the Lions' breakout player in the 2020 NFL season. I think Tracy Walker in year 3 could really ball out with Duron Harmon at his side. Now, last year, Tracy Walker took a huge jump as a Detroit Lions safety. He took on a really big role after we traded away Quandre Diggs, and he was our main guy in the back end, and he played pretty well. He played in 13 games, and he had 103 combined tackles, 6 tackles for loss, 8 passes defended, and 1 interception, allowing a 64.9% completion percentage and a 117 pass rating. Honestly, some pretty darn good stats from the safety position, okay? He did a lot of things for us last season. He mans up, he plays in the box, he took on a lot of tough competitions, guys like Larry Fitzgerald. He plays a really tough role, but now with Duron Harmon, who I think could take a little bit of pressure off him, he'll continue to get better, help him, he'll learn a little bit from Duron Harmon, and I just think Tracy Walker's got so much potential, man. You just watch this guy, just pops off your screen. Sure, he gets beat here and there, but he's not afraid to take on the challenge, and I think Tracy Walker is going to absolutely ball out next season. Now, the problem is, the reason that he comes in at number 5 is because I think the safety position is really hard to shock the NFL. It's really hard to just shock everybody and you're like, oh snap, hey, you know about that safety in Detroit? Like, it's kind of hard to do that unless you're just crazy good at the safety position. So I'm putting it at number 5. However, I do believe Tracy Walker will be the Lions' breakout player for the 2020 NFL season. I actually have a video on that if you guys want to check it out. So Tracy Walker comes in at number 5. Now let's hop into the number 4 spot. At number 4, we have TJ Hockenson. Hockenson comes in at number 4. And while I don't think he'll put up George Kittle numbers next season, I do think TJ Hockenson will have a bigger impact with the Detroit Lions offense because he is now a year 2 tight end, so he's going to be more comfortable with the scheme. And hopefully he is healthy next season so we don't have to deal with some of those injuries and missed games because he was only able to play in 12 games last season where he had 32 receptions for 367 yards and 2 touchdowns. He showed us a lot of spurts, especially in week 1 when he just balled out, but then he came back to reality, right? He was a rookie after that. You saw a lot of mistakes, you see some drops, you just seen inconsistent play. You saw some good, you saw some bad, and hopefully in 2020, he starts to be more consistent as a player, and I think he will as he gets older. In our scheme, I don't necessarily ever think he'll have crazy, ridiculous numbers, but there was a reason that Detroit Lions did take him at number 8, and they're going to utilize him, and I think TJ Hockenson does a lot of things they don't see on the stat sheet, like blocking. So for me, TJ Hockenson is going to be really, really good for us in 2020, and I think there's a lot of hype around him automatically because he was the 8th pick in the draft for us, because he was our first-round pick. So TJ Hockenson comes up here because I think he could, surprise some people as one of the better tight ends in the league next season and kind of just come out of nowhere because we really didn't see it that much last season. So who knows? He comes in at number 4 for me. Now let's hop in to the top 3. Coming in at number 3, I have Kerryon Johnson. Kerryon Johnson for me is coming in at number 3, man. I made videos upon videos about Kerryon Johnson. I made a resurgence video for Kerryon Johnson. I think Kerryon's going to shock the world next season. I think he could shock the NFL next season. And Kerryon Johnson has had back-to-back seasons where he's went down with injuries. But when he has been healthy, he showed us a lot of flashes of being a great running back. Now, last season, you could say he took a little bit of a step back, even when he was healthy. But it was a weird season last year. And in 2018, when we saw him healthy for, I'd say the first half of games before he got injured in his rookie season, he was an absolute monster. He actually had more yards per carry than Nick Chubb did from the Cleveland Browns. He was one of the best rookie running backs that year. The only reason he wasn't looked at possibly as the best is one, because he was hurt, and two, because Saquon Barkley was also in that draft class who won the Rookie of the Year, I believe. Actually, what's interesting about the Rookie of the Year is this. The Lions won the first two Rookie of the Years in the NFL. The Lions have won the first two Rookie of the Year since that award started, I believe. That's what I looked up. So I was like, hey, that's pretty crazy. That's pretty darn cool. I don't know why that has anything to do with anything, but hey, I thought that was kind of cool when I was looking at him. But yes, at his rookie season, he averaged 5.4 yards per carry. And I think with DeAndre Swift pushing him to get better, taking some pressure off him, possibly keeping him healthy, I think Kerryon is going to be that guy. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, you know what? We kind of forgot about you a little bit after we brought in Swift, but now I remember. Yep, so I think he's going to make everybody remember who he is. He's fighting for a job at this point, honestly, because of his health. He's going to be playing through injuries. I got Kerryon coming in at number 3. Now let's hop into the number 2 spot. At the number 2 spot, you may have guessed it. It is going to be Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford comes in at number 2. Now, last season, like Kerryon Johnson, he went down with injury and missed the second half of the year. But Matthew Stafford was on pace to have the best season that he has ever had. Matthew Stafford's had some good years, but 2019 could have easily been his best by far. Most efficient, tons of yards, tons of touchdowns, not that many interceptions. The dude was an absolute monster, highest passer rating of his entire career, but unfortunately he went down with an injury. And in 2020, if the Lions are successful and he is healthy, he could be that guy that's like, oh my gosh, the league has just been taken by storm by Matthew Stafford. We've seen quarterbacks do it. We've seen quarterbacks come out of nowhere. All of a sudden, when they get the team around them and they're successful, they come out of nowhere and they win an MVP award. I've said it once, I'll say it again. If the Lions win a playoff game, I think Stafford gets the MVP without a doubt. I'm almost certain he will. So with that being said, I think Matthew Stafford next season could shock the NFL, possibly win the MVP award, and most definitely win the Comeback Player of the Year award. So that would be pretty darn awesome. Matthew Stafford comes in at number 2. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, who is that number 1? Well, I will tell you 1 second, but before we do that, I got to give you guys my honorable mentions, and that is Romeo Okwara and Deshaun Hand. I mainly lean to the side of Romeo Okwara. I love Romeo Okwara's game. Deshaun Hand is really nice because he's kind of like a defensive tackle in there, and he's shown some good glimpses. But for me, Romeo Okwara just pops off the screen even more. He's super athletic. This guy just looks, you could tell he's Julian's brother. You could tell they're related because the athleticism is there for both of these players. So for me, it's Romeo Okwara, but I think Deshaun Hand also deserves a little bit of a nod here because if he was healthy, we've seen some good things. We just haven't seen him be healthy. Last season, only played in 3 games. So hopefully he comes back healthy. Also, a guy like Austin Bryant, who wasn't healthy either last year, so maybe him as well. But I'm going to go lean to the side of Romeo. But neither of these guys are technically in the top 5 because it's going to be really hard for them to shock the NFL. But they could be really good for the Lions next year. However, this guy could shock the NFL, and that has to be Matty P. Matt Patricia has to come in at number 1 here. I think you could definitely put Stafford at 1, but I'm going with Matt Patricia. Matt Patricia could shock the NFL. Many people look at the Detroit Lions and say, I love their roster, but Matt Patricia's your head coach, you won't be successful. However, Matt Patricia may have something to say about that in 2020. He could turn around this Detroit Lions franchise in a year. They could go from 3-12-1, where they were pretty much forgotten about with an injured quarterback, with a 3rd pick in the draft, to all of a sudden having a year like the San Francisco 49ers. When Kyle Shanahan shocked the league, we could see another one of those from Matt Patricia. Honestly, just getting to a playoff game would probably surprise a lot of the league. Now, we've only seen 2 Coach of the Year winners in Detroit. One of those coming back in 1957 when it was George Wilson, and one in 1991 with Wayne Fontes. We'll see if Matt Patricia can somehow do that in 2020, but Matt Patricia comes in for me at number 1, man. He could shock the league, and Detroit Lions could be successful, and he'll definitely get a lot of love for that. So those are my 5 Lions that could shock the NFL in 2020. Shout out to my guy who won the giveaway. Make sure you hit me up on Instagram. I think that's where you hit me up last time. So hit me up on Instagram. Let me know where to send the shirt and what shirt you can want. And yeah, stay tuned for more giveaways. Thank you for watching, and I'm out.